Hello and welcome back to the Spin the Rock podcast. I'm your host Angel, and with me today is my co-host.
On.
All right, the oh my god you heard me say just now was because I saw how much the Celtics sold their franchise for. $6.1 billion, dude.
Yep, it's a record.
That's
Most money for a franchise in North American sports. It makes sense coming off the heels of a championship. It is scary
Jesus.
though.
It is kind of scary. Sorry, still stuck on the price because it's the most a team has ever been bought for in North American sports history. So not just NBA history, which the Commanders had, which is crazy. I can't believe anyone would pay that much money for a Washington team.
But that wasn't too long ago either.
No, that was 2 years ago. That's crazy. Well, as a Celtics fan, how do you feel about this one?
It's very nerve wracking to hear at first, but then the new ownership isn't going to take over as governor and CEO for another 3 years. So although they will own the franchise, Wick Grosbeck, who's been the owner this whole time, will
Yeah.
still be acting as the guy in charge. Um, so I think this feels like it was meant to avoid a Mavericks situation where ownership, trades away Luka Doncic or at least gives the go ahead for Nico Harrison to do that. I think they don't want that situation happening.
Hmm.
Because after that anything feels possible. So I think this is a good stopgap from that ever happening. Imagine Jason Tatum gets traded for I don't know, a Tyrese Halliburton or something
That
like
would
that.
be crazy.
That would hurt. So I'm glad at least there's something to at least ease my fears of that scenario.
Yeah.
Um, it also makes me wonder why 3 years. Is that like what they believe the championship window is, or at least what the core is going to look like? Because you still got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown for all those years, but Al Horford's pretty old. Drew Holiday's getting up there. Um, maybe that's when they start doing shakeups.
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. It also seems like the ownership actually loves the team too. It's not like one of those scenarios where it's like the Mavericks owners who literally bought it because they're trying to get gambling in Texas. Like it's like the guy with the fan of the Celtics has thought about buying for a long time. So that's good. That's good to hear too. It's never, I don't want to say never, but it's always scary when a team that is good gets sold in the middle of their run.
Yeah, like when has that ever happened?
I think
Like
the Bulls.
yeah, with Jerry Krause.
Yeah, and he destroyed that team, bro. He destroyed that team. He tore them apart.
Yeah. Well, at least it's looking different. Maybe they have some history to look back on, but I'm not sweating it right now. But maybe the 3 years comes, and that's when I start getting worried.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Today's gonna be a really short episode because we were supposed to go over all of our brackets for March Madness, which is in full effect right now. Um, how much have you watched, Fawn?
Highlights. I've not caught one single game yet. I will catch. I will catch some of the future games, especially Sweet 16. But I'll say like, oh, I'm gonna watch this game. That game passes, and then I just don't watch a game that day. So I'm kind of experiencing it the worst way. I'm kind of stat watching it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm double checking my brackets, seeing how that's holding up. Which like that has to be one of the most least enjoyable ways to experience March Madness because this is like some of the most competitive basketball. Worst players, but somehow more entertaining than the NBA at certain times. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I've only watched like a couple of games here and there, If I don't watch it, I don't even like. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched a single highlight. So like, unless it showed up on like my social media, like one highlight, if I didn't watch the game, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was close or not. But I am watching a lot more because I actually have stakes in it this time. Have you ever done a bracket before? Because this is the first time I've ever done a bracket.
So once in school, like senior year of high school, we did one for this math class. It was like statistics or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we made one, and my bracket was actually pretty phenomenal. But like after we did it initially, no one cared. So I'm just out here quietly celebrating my fucking amazing bracket. It's just like, oh, you're still talking about that? Because there wasn't a lot of sports types, I think.
You're
But
still
whatever.
talking about that?
Yeah, bro, I'll hang on that. I've never made a bracket since. Not until now.
So I've never made a bracket ever
Never.
because I know that my like college ball, like the one time I was into it, which was the Zion John Morant year,
Mm.
like that was like the only time I really followed college basketball. And even then, I didn't make a bracket because I just forgot. I was just like, I just would not do it. So this is the first time I've ever done it, and how I'm doing, we'll get to that here in a sec. We'll start off with Eugene's, just because we don't have much. We don't really have anything to say about it because we like don't know what his thought process was. Oh, and by the way, for any viewers out there, I'll flash it for your audio listeners. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see his bracket, but for the video listeners, I flash it on the screen for a few seconds so you can get a good look at it. Starting on the south side of things, man almost went perfect. He only got UC San Diego versus Michigan wrong.
Okay, this is how you know someone watches college ball, or at least has the understanding of it. I'm like casual, most casual, probably out of all of us when it comes to college sports, period. So
Mm-hmm.
this one doesn't surprise me. Eugene going crazy in at least in one division doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
it doesn't surprise me at all. Um, yeah, bro. There's not much to say about it. We don't know his thought process, but the fact that he went this crazy, and like it's not even we're not even done either. On the east side of things, again, only one wrong. And like even into the round of 32, he's still perfect right now. So in the round of 32 on the east side of things, he's right on both occasions. Yeah, bro. He got the he's got everything perfectly on the money. Again, can't really say much about it, but that man, this is a man who knows ball, and I wish he was here so we can get his thoughts on it.
Bro, it's
But
Eugene. Like it's maybe
Eugenie,
there is no thought process. Maybe it's just like he can feel it.
yeah, he was in 6 inches off the ground meditating.
Maybe he got his Doctor Strange going on.
He just locked in for it. Okay. On the west side of things, not so lucky. He got Memphis versus Colorado State wrong. He picked GCU over Maryland, Missouri over Drake, which was a huge upset, so I don't blame him for that. And then another upset got him Kansas over Arkansas. He picked, and then this is where we can start talking about his thought process. This man had St. John's going all the way, by the way, which like again, I don't know ball. I don't know college ball enough. I don't know how insane that is. But
Yeah,
he had St.
I
John's over Duke.
I was definitely expecting the Duke pick. St. John's wasn't even on my radar. So him seeing that for the first time was like a flashbang. I'm like, he he's definitely seen something I don't. Um, but apparently he wasn't. St. John's is out.
Yeah,
That really does kill his bracket for a deep run. Oh, that is tough. He was going
that's so
so good
tough.
in the beginning. But I can't really talk because he does have the most points out of all our brackets currently.
Currently, yes. Right now, he has 380 points. 70% is correct. But he only has a max for 1,120, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Because, like,
70%, and you don't crack 1,200 for your max points. That is insane.
70%, bro. And then Midwest, again, only 2 wrong. So that man had an amazing round of 64. But his round of 32, unfortunately, is what's killing him right now. But who knows? Who knows what will happen with Eugene bracket? Moving on, Vaughn, who is second, 300 points, 17% accurate, but you have the highest max of 1620, bro, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how this works, to be honest.
So looking at the south and east side of things, why don't you run us through it?
Okay, just in general, for the first round, I wasn't going to dig deep into the statistics or anything. What I was really looking for was upsets.
Yeah.
And I didn't care who would throw my run or nothing, but I just needed to hit one. I just need to hit one for me, for myself. Because that's, if I get a Cinderella team, if I get that little statistic percentage of getting a team that shouldn't be there on a deep run, that would make me happy.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of upsets on my thing. Like, let's check it out here. Who did I say? Like, I picked North Carolina versus Ole Miss. Got that wrong. Okay, we live and learn. New Mexico over Marquette, got that right. I'll take that little W. You know, Colorado State over Memphis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm taking Colorado State, and I'm being rewarded right now. I'm being rewarded in that my max points are higher than Eugene's, which is fine with me. Like, I picked Drake over Missouri, bro.
That is an insane pick, bro.
Who's doing that? No one I know.
Yeah, the I think the reason why you have so much more higher points is because you got more matches. Like Missouri, you like got Drake and Texas Tech. You had Colorado and Maryland. You had Florida in UConn. Like you got like head to heads right.
For
So
now,
like
like, I'm praying it continues. The luck, it's luck, to be honest.
it is like
Um, but I did start looking at the stats a little more in the round of 32, only because I'm like, okay, this is more doable for me.
mm-hmm.
Just the amount of teams aren't as overwhelming. So all I would really look for in the second round and moving forward is like who's scoring more points per game, who's got a better defense, and do you have a go-to scorer, and what do the assist numbers look like? That's what I was really concentrating on.
Mm.
So that really dictates everything else moving forward. I wish I did look a little more at the round of 64 because I forgot Calipari was coaching at Arkansas, and
Mm.
I knocked them out of my bracket pretty early on, and now they're at least out of the round of 64. But that man, there's some people you should give credence to, and I should have given it more to him. But that was my mistake. I was being too much of a casual, I guess. But in the end, I'm saying Tennessee. I know I've been touting, some like about my upsets, but like I'm not dumb. I've got Texas Tech going deep. Um, I've got Tennessee. I've got Alabama going pretty hot. It's just like as much as I want to root for the Cinderella run all the way to the finals, I can't throw that bad. So I did say Tennessee.
I don't know. You you have New Mexico over Colorado State in the Final Four.
Bro,
You said I can't trust on Colorado run. I mean, Cinderella ones. You have two in your
Final
Final
Four,
Four.
bro. Final Four is whatever. It's the final. All right, the
Yeah, I guess
championship
that's fair.
game that matters.
Bro, that's crazy.
Clown on it
Though.
all you want, bro. I'm gonna win this.
I'm not
Colorado, I'm with you.
yeah, that's crazy, dude. I mean, the Tennessee is a solid pick. Tennessee and Alabama is fire. So far, you're killing it. I mean, yeah, you picked Tennessee over you picked Tennessee to go all the way to the Sweet 16, and right now they are. I mean, you have them winning it all, but so far, they're proving you right. You got Kentucky meeting them in the Sweet 16, and right now they're beating Illinois. I mean, the McNeese one, like, I feel like that was an upset because I feel like everyone saw it coming. That's if y'all don't know, McNeese is the school with the freaking manager that has a NIL deal and hit the transfer portal. The first manager to ever do either of those things. That's his school, McNeese, and I feel like everyone knew that they were gonna beat Clemson because like stories like this always happen. There's always some story, and that team does good. Too bad Purdue beat them today, but
I'm glad you said that because I didn't know any of that.
really,
You,
you blindly picked McNeese.
I have no biases. The only player I know in this is Cooper Flag. I don't really know anyone else.
I know
I don't have a
my
fan
boy
favorite
here.
player. I don't have a fan favorite team. It's just like I want this upset. Oh, I like this player's stats. I'm not gonna think that they're gonna erupt against Houston's offense or defense. Sorry, it's just I'm looking at a little like objective about this because in the end I don't really care, but like at the end also maybe I lock down for this round of 32 and up.
Yeah, I mean that's fire, bro. I mean, I think the fact that you still blindly picked McNeese is crazy. Like, you no clue anything about their story, you still got it right.
Yeah, I think I've been a little too. I've been humble enough, and now I'm probably going to get humbled moving into Sweet 16. This is probably where Eugene completes the gap. Like right now,
Yeah,
I'm 80 points behind him right now, or maybe you somehow come back and go
I
crazy.
I don't. We'll get into that, but I don't know about that one. Okay. Speaking of mine, here we are, flashing it on there. So right now, I'm 9% accurate. I have 250 points, and I have a max of 1070. So I am on track to not winning, not even placing second. I think the first half of the first day, I was in the lead because I think I was the only one who picked the Cretan upset or Cretan or however you pronounce it. Because I know, so my bracket is all vibes. Like, I didn't do anything Eugene did. Like, Eugene knows ball. I didn't do what Vaughn did and like Brian Lee picked the 64 and then start looking into their stats. No, I was just going by vibes. I was blindly doing all of it. And so the only reason why I picked it is because one, I know that lately they have been doing upsets. I know them as a school to upset. And two, I know that Louisville is washed. The only reason why I picked them was because of those two reasons. Um, Same here with I got New Mexico right. Um, I got Duke winning it all this year. I had Duke over UCLA, not looking out for me, because Tennessee beat them. So I'm pretty much doomed. I picked Baylor because again I was like Baylor's cold. Let's see. I'm trying to find another really bad. So, boom, St. Mary's. I picked Vanderbilt to beat them because I was like, oh, they had a lot of upsets in football. I'm sure they'll have upsets in basketball too. So I picked Vanderbilt over St. Mary's.
I need to know the process behind that. A football program upset versus a basketball upset.
Usually
Like, how's that translate?
they usually synergize, bro. They usually synergize. Like usually when one program's doing good, the other one is also doing good.
It's part of their perk tree, you know.
Yeah, it really is. So like in my head, I was just kind of like, that's literally what it was. I was just like, you know what? Like I really do think that like they can do it in basketball too. I was wrong. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't really. So I have CSU going all the way to the Sweet 16. I'm pretty much doomed on the West and Midwest part. From here on out, the only way I can get any points for the Western side of things is if Colorado beats Maryland. If Colorado doesn't beat Maryland, I'm not getting any points on the Western side of things. None at all.
They'll come through. They'll come through. I can feel it.
Yeah, well, because you have them going all the way to the Final Four, bro. That's why. But
They're the team to do it.
This man right here made March Madness history, broke the program amount of threes when they beat Memphis. Keon Evans, man, is a baller. I watched that game. He is cold. So I feel like they might be able to do it. Maryland, you know, they're a nice basketball school, always has been. But
yeah, but are they breaking records for threes made?
No, they're not.
I don't think so.
I don't think they are. So, you know, at that point, you don't lose after breaking a record like that.
Right.
That's never happened before where you make history and lose the game. That's never happened.
That's just bad for the storyline, man. They would the writers wouldn't do that.
The writers would not do that. So I had UConn going all the way to the Elite Eight or the final rounds, basically. I had UConn losing to Kansas. Awful. That fucked me over, bro. Because not only did Kansas lose in the first round, but UConn lost today to Florida State. So I'm doomed. I'm literally not gonna get a single point on the Western side of things, except for if Colorado beats Maryland, because I have Kentucky over or Kansas over what I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, I have Kentucky over MSU or Kansas over MSU in my final four of the Western of the other side of it. So I'm fucked. So another thing, I picked Wofford to beat Tennessee because I confused Wofford with McNeese. So I thought that the McNeese story was the Wofford story. So not only did I get Tennessee versus Wofford wrong, I got Clemson versus McNeese wrong because I switched the two.
That's costing you like 60 points at least if like you had the switch deep. Oh my god, bro. You know, even with that said, our round of 64 were pretty close. The points we got from it. Like Eugene 240, I had 220, you had 210.
Yeah.
Like we were very close. Even with Eugene's 7% win percentage. But the round of 32 is fucking over you and me right now.
No, the round of 32. Well, I'm doomed, bro. Like I'm literally doomed. I don't know. I'm not winning this tournament, this bracket, because I have Duke going all the way. I had Duke beating UCLA, but I had I didn't get the entire like other half of the East right, because I had because I picked VCU over Baylor Baylor. No, not Baylor. BYU. Because I literally was like, BYU doesn't know ball.
That's what I thought too.
So I picked VCU to beat them, but BYU beat them and Wisconsin. So I got that wrong. And then I had I had Vanderbilt beating Alabama after they beat St. Mary's, just because I was like, they beat Alabama in football. Why can't they
Oh
beat
my
them
god.
in basketball too? It was literally all vibes. It was literally just like this roundabout way of fucking choosing teams that made no sense. Like that's why I have Kansas over Michigan State in the Final Four, because it was just
You're
like,
you're like not the only person to think that. There's the loyalty to certain teams that are doing this. I know you're just saying vibes, but you know, they have
yeah,
rose tinted glasses on for sure.
yeah, for
But
sure.
bro, if you had just locked in just a little bit, you could be in first right now.
If you just yeah, if I just did my like, if I just checked the McNeese story, I could have.
Come on, man.
Luckily, I do have Purdue. I do have Purdue going to the Sweet 16, but I had UGA beating them. So and they lost to Gonzaga. But other than that, this
Why'd you
had been
go
a
with why'd you go with Duke for the winner? Cooper Flag?
what? What do you mean?
Like you picked Duke to win it all.
Oh,
Why Duke?
dude, Duke is so good this year. Cooper, not just because of Cooper Flag, but because their entire team is amazing. Like, it's like that old Duke with Zion and RJ Barrett. Like, every single person on that team could definitely make it. Not every single person, but like, there's a lot of NBA guys on that team. There's a reason why there's rumors that he might run it back, because everyone, like, this is a winning team, bro. And like, the only reason, and I only know that because like it's so obvious. Like, I don't know ball, but I know how good Duke is.
Yeah, I knew Cooper Flag was coming off an injury, and I almost threw. I almost said Duke upset, loses first
Oh
round.
no.
I'm like, no, like Duke was good even without Cooper Flag.
Yeah, yeah, they
So I'm
were.
like, I gotta give a little trust to them. So at least I saved myself from that mistake.
Yeah, and good thing too, because they dominated St. Mary's, Mount St. Mary's. They dominated Baylor. And now it's either Oregon or Arizona. And it's like, yeah, bro. I wish Eugene was here so I can get why he picked St. John's, because I really don't know anything about St. John's.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything you want to add? Oh, how was your experience making a bracket this year?
I was putting it off a little. I I think you did yours was Sunday and Monday. I think I did mine like a few days later because I'm like, how much effort am I going to put in this? So I said, a round of 64. I'll be a little chill with it, and then beyond that, I at least try to look like I do a basketball podcast. uh, but other than that, it wasn't tough. Um, I enjoyed it. I hope we do win again next year. But yeah,
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. So I did mine right away because I didn't want to like, I don't know, I was just kind of like, get it over with. If you don't do it now, you will forget. Um, bro, that first day of the round of 64, like I honestly it was like, wow, this is like amazing. Like, I was honestly so into it. And I'm not saying how poorly I did is the reason. And around the 32, like I wasn't less into it because I was doing so badly. It was just because like now it's starting, like I'm more into like the basketball side of it now rather than like the bracket side of it. Like actually watching the games. But also it's just been so like funny to like see certain stats. Like when the Louisville upset happened, it was so like a different feeling when I was like, oh, I picked that shit and that shit wiped out half of the like world's brackets. Like
yeah,
when Creighton won, I think I saw the stat was like 46% brackets were deleted because of that upset, and I was like, not mine. Like I was filled with so much joy So I really do want to do it again next year. And next year I will lock in and act like I have a basketball podcast instead of just going based off of solely vibes.
Was selecting your bracket, was there any teams you were surprised to hear? Because I didn't know Florida was a one team in the West. I was so surprised to see that. Like, because like I said, I'm not really watching a lot of college ball, but like Florida, really?
For me, yeah, Florida was surprising. For me, it was how dominant the SEC is in basketball. Because in
Oh,
my head,
right.
it's always been and this
Ball.
could be like, oh, Angel, you're a fucking old head. But to me, it was always like the Big Ten or whatever it was, like or the Big 12 or whatever they're called. Like with like Michigan and like the Carolinas and all that, bro. Like I honestly always thought it was that conference that was the best conference, and to find out that like no, the SEC is good in basketball, it made me mad. As like I was like, fuck that, bro. I'm like, what aren't they fucking good at, bro? Yeah, like it's for me, it's always been like the ACC and the Big Ten or Big
Yeah.
12 or whichever one it is. Yeah, the Big Ten. It's always been those two schools for me, and like our conferences.
Even if you think like 5 years ago, that was probably true more so. But like I know they've always kind of been good in SEC, but like to take over the reins, like far and away, it's just like, yeah, that is a bit of a shock.
Yeah, no, for real. And it's just like I didn't even know it was a thing. Like no one really talked about it, but I guess like why would you? Like the good schools are still Duke, blah blah blah. But like now it's like SEC is here to stay. And
Yeah.
that's crazy. For another one for me, CSU. Um that was surprising because I know CU was like getting better in basketball. Like we had Jalen Williams. We were in March Madness last year, even though they got fucking destroyed. But I didn't know CSU like is the better basketball program. Because I'm pretty sure CSU was in it last year as well. So that was that was eye opening to me. Like I never knew CSU was a basketball school.
Neither did I. Um, who am I thinking of? No, I was gonna say Derek White might have been like the first time I seen a college in Colorado, but I think that was Division II. I'm thinking of. But yeah, CSU in 2025, a basketball school. That was never on my radar.
No, for real. What about you, Vaughn? Any other ones
Mm,
besides Florida?
well, BYU being good. That's killing me, bro. I had them out round one. I'm like, oh, this is the easy upset right here. I should have known better. It's whatever runoff energy that Jimmer Fredette had when he was there.
No, for real. Yeah, no, that's so funny. That I don't. Yeah, I didn't know BYU was good. I also didn't know BYU was not only like had a basketball program, but like also they're like dominating these players, though. I'm not dominating, but like they're like on a roll and they're in the Sweet 16 and they're going up against whoever wins St. Mary's in Alabama. So like they could go further. They really could
Oh,
go
please.
further.
Because I got Alabama going deep. If Alabama face them, please, Alabama, knock them off.
Alabama's a good team too, though, which still blows my mind. That blew my mind last year when we did the March Madness special last year. I said I didn't know Alabama was good at basketball. I still don't. I still can't believe it. Like I still seeing them be in this and be like number 2 seeded. That still blows my mind. Other than
Yeah,
that,
like every now and then you get like a school that. Well, I actually don't know how long Alabama's been a good basketball team for college, but every now and then there'll be like a football school that has like a solid basketball team. Like I remember like Ohio State had the D'Angelo Russell years or the Mike Conley
Yeah.
years. Yeah, that happens.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that is all for today because it's just going over our brackets, talking about the decisions we made. Let us know how well your bracket is doing, and if you were in our group, would you be leading or would Eugene be kicking your ass too? Because right now we have an upset brewing in our own bracket group. Any second now, Vaughn can take over that first place. So
But
let us know
I'm
how
the
you're doing.
biggest Cinderella run right here right now.
You really are. A max of 16-20. You can overtake Eugene any second now. But
Yeah, my 17% versus his 70.
yeah, bro, how did this man do so well? Like that athlete, like I'm in the round of 64, he had like a 90 at one point.
Yeah, it's
Like
kind
there
of
was a
pissing me off. What was he doing?
a man has a freaking crystal ball and everything. But yeah, let us know how you're doing. If you would be beating us or if Eugene would be beating your ass as well. If you're listening for that audio format, we're on all podcast platforms. Make sure you give us a good old 5 stars, leave a review. We're also on YouTube for video format, so make sure you like and subscribe there. And also social media. We're on all platforms, so make sure you follow us for clips and all that other good stuff. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.